Hi, I'm Lulu. Welcome to Lulu's Way. I'm glad you're here. I've done some more tweaks. I can't stop. Just always just fine tuning, making things, just imagining myself on this trip and just the things that might bother me, the things that might be helpful to me, just going through everything and enjoying every minute of it. I do enjoy it. I got some advice regarding these little bins up here with the shelves. And I took a little bit of an idea from a few different people and I came up with my own idea. And what I did was, if you look now, behind each of these bins is the same color as my cabinets. What I did was, take out my incense here so I can show you. What I did was, I took a brown paper shopping bag and one side I painted using this paint. And then I just used that paper. You can see here's the back of the paper bag, and the front is painted the color of the cabinets. And I just taped them on. So now they just blend right in with the cabinets like that. And there you go. It's going to be like a big, huge shelf of junk drawers. And I see no junk now. Thank you, everybody, for the bits and pieces of advice that brought me to this. Some people said put blue paper behind there, but I didn't want to put just blue paper. I wanted it to be this blue. Somebody said contact paper behind it, and that got me thinking. So I just took a little bit of advice from everybody, and that's what I did. And I really like that. Another thing I did was I always like to keep a couple of pens right here, and just to have them handy, a pen and a pencil, and a little, I have like a little Post-it note pad I usually keep right here too. But the pens and the pencil always rolls off when I drive. Always ends up down here behind my headboard or on the floor somewhere. Of course it rolls. Of course it rolls off. But I like to have it here. What I did was I had this little bottle, this little plastic bottle that had a screw top, and I just put some piece of alien tape on the bottom of it and stuck it right to the counter. And there I have just a pencil, a pen, a highlighter, a Sharpie. That's all I need right there. And this is where my oils will go behind here. So that solves the rolling pencil problem. And then another thing I did was inside my cabinets, I replaced all of that, you know, those shelf liner pieces like this that I had on the bottom of each shelf. I replaced them all out with the skid-proof matting instead. Now I don't have my cabinets filled because I'm not traveling yet. I'm not ready to take my stuff down here yet. But there are the new skid-proof liners. And that will stop the spices from moving around. Not that they move around and knock over, but things move. Things move. And everything will just stay put. So I heard back from Bill, and he told me that I can get 3 remote switches for my lights. So that's good news. And then he sent me the link, and I was looking, and I put 2 in my shopping cart to get 2 more to have 3. I wanted 1 for next to the door, 1 for next to the bed, and 1 for near the cabinet, near the kitchen. And I decided against it for now. I decided I'm going to find a central spot to use 1, and I'm going to see if it doesn't work, if I wish I had 3. I had none before. I had none. I had to actually be on the light and click each light before. And this is definitely a step up, and I've decided to just rest right here with this luxury of having a dimmer switch, 1 switch for all my lights. And I found what I believe to be a central location. I can reach it from the door, I can reach it from the bed, I can reach it from the kitchen, and it's right here. I didn't magnetize it here. I stuck it with that little sticky tab the 3M sticky tab. And now right here is my light switch. I can reach it right here when I'm sitting at the kitchen, ready for some little bit of light from the bed before I go to sleep. Because, you know, I'm imagining, I always like to have a little light on before I'm going to sleep. And I'll probably have it down really low like that, you know, and then just turn around and shut it off. And you know, the door, this is not far from the door. It might look like it on this film, but this is very, very close to the door. Very close. Like I can reach in. I can reach in and reach it because this is a very tiny van. So I'm going to go with that. And if I do decide to get the 3, I'll probably keep this one here because I think this is a good spot for the one next to the kitchen. And then I'll just get one for here and then one right up there. So another change I made, I went back to my little bag of rhinestones, like these little rhinestones that I put all over this this food shelf. I went to my rhinestones and I found 4 little red rhinestones. Guess where I put them? I just covered all the screws on the switch. This is the switch for the DC to DC charger or the solar panels to move my, that's to the car. And then over here is if I'm on solar panels. And I put a little red rhinestone on each screw. I said screw to the screws. I want rhinestones. Another thing I did was I got all my winter stuff together, the stuff that I'm going to perhaps need to sleep comfortably on my way down. I don't do a lot to prepare for sleeping in the cold. If I was going to be in the cold for several consecutive days, then I would probably have a heater put in. I talked to Bill about a diesel heater, and he said, well, if you want a diesel heater in here, you have to sacrifice something. So I might have to sacrifice like one of my bins, which I can't do. I might have to sacrifice part of inside of this cabinet, which would be like my shoe storage and my laundry bin. I don't know if I can do that either. So I don't know. Right now, it's not that important to me because I, like on my way to Florida for like 2 nights, I'll have to sleep cold. Then after the 3rd night, I'll probably be in Georgia, which is not warm, but it's not freezing. Totally doable. Sleeping comfortably with my new wool blanket and this blanket, I'll be fine in some warm pajamas. But the first couple of nights I might be cold. So, you know, I have an electric mattress pad, and now I have the power. I could actually run that. But I'm telling you, I'm not even going to take that with me. Not for 2 nights, and then 2 nights on the way home. I'm not going to do it. I would, because to set that up, you got to set it up. You have to pin it on, and then the wires are there. All worth it if you're freezing, and you're going to be freezing for night after night. So I'm not even going to take that with me. But right here, up over here, is where I've put all the stuff that I'm going to need each night to sleep warm, and that is these warm jammies right here, nice fleece jammies. And then I got this is the case my new wool blanket just came in. And I have my Bombas booties. If you remember these, I got those at the thrift store for a steal. My new hat right here, I'll sleep in this. This is amazing right here. I wore this outside for a walk in the freezing cold. Unbelievable. I also have some long underwear right here. That's if it's like really, really cold. Just some thermal underwear. And then I went online and found these mittens. They're called heat holders. And I put them in my cart about 2 years ago. I hadn't pulled the plug on them. I was just like, I don't know, like $30 for a pair of mittens. How often do I really need mittens? But the mittens I have, which are fleece, they barely do anything. there's too much space. Like there's too much space and my fingers are cold. So I pulled the plug and I got them, and they're called heat holders. And I'm telling you, you put your hands in these, it's like you can feel like the inside is like this. See that? It's like very furry, but I mean, it's not fur, but it's very furry. And when I tell you, I went for a walk in the freezing cold the other day for like a few miles, and I had this on, head completely warm. I had these on, and my hands were sweating. These are amazing, and these are what I will sleep in if my hands are cold. These, my feet sweat in these too. They're so warm. Same kind of inside, sort of. Those feet never get cold. These hands never get cold. This head. And then, you know, and then I have these pajamas on, and I have this comforter and that wool blanket. I don't even think I'll need this. I'm just taking the long underwear just in case it's like, you know, 10 degrees. It's 10 degrees. That might, if it's 10 degrees, that might be a little bit painful. I'd probably get a hotel, much to my dismay. Although I really do not want to stay in a hotel. I don't believe that staying in a hotel while I'm traveling is a treat, because it's kind of a pain in the ass, because you have to take all your stuff out, and everything I have is in here, and then I got to figure out what I'm going to take up there, and it's like I don't want to. I like being in here. I want to be in here. High 20s and up. I can sleep in here just fine. And you know, getting up in the middle of the night to pee is very cold. But you know something? If it's 50 degrees, it feels cold getting up in the middle of the night. You're just cold for a minute, and then you hop right back in, you know? So I just decided I was going to use this space right here for all of this stuff, and keeping it handy for each night. And then when I get to Florida and I no longer need this stuff, I'm going to swap this stuff out with other things that I want more handy for what I'll need while I'm down there, when I won't need that stuff anymore until the way home. I'll probably store that behind my kitchen. I have space behind my kitchen because this kitchen is not built into my wheel well. It's just against my wheel well. So I have all that storage space, and I keep a lot of things back there. So it's very, very good. So another thing I did was, you know, I'm going to be gone for 3 months, so I needed to take a lot of supplements with me. And so I needed to pack them all up. So I'm going to have all the ones in my supplement drawer. Those will be all the ones that I'm using each day. But then I need like replacement ones as things start to empty. So I have everything counted out. I know exactly how much of everything that I need, and I have it all in containers. Some are Ziploc bags, some of the original bottles things came in. I've packaged everything up just so that I have the amounts of everything I need for the 3 months. So I wanted to, like, I don't want to take up space in my cooler with it, and they really don't have to be refrigerated, but I don't want them to be in the heat, like in the heat of Florida. So I was like, what can I do to kind of just insulate them a little bit? I don't want them in the fridge, but I want them insulated a little bit. I took some of that same thick Reflectix that I lined my cooler with, and I made this. I made this little bin. I made a little top for it. And this is one container that's filled with, this is all the stuff to make all the ingredients for my supplement shakes that I'll make on the road. And then this is just a bunch of sprays and powders and tablets, capsules and pills, all to replace as my bottles get empty in there. So I just made this little bin. I just made it just to fit these two things. One in here And this right here fits right here. And then I'm going to go like this and just tuck this in right here. And it will just insulate it and protect it for whatever it's worth. I'm just going for it. So this will go right under my bed. And another thing I made is for one of my pantry bins. So I have 2 pantry bins under my bed. I just fill them up with all my pantry, all my rice and my dandy blend and my seaweed sheets and my Japanese sweet potatoes, all that stuff. In one of them, I keep canned goods and my fruit. So the problem I was having was if I put canned goods in here and then I put the fruit on top of it, can be very fragile. You know, the fruit is fragile. It's sitting on tin cans and then it's vibrating while I'm driving. So I was like, what am I going to do to solve that problem? So what I did was I put a box in here. So this box, here's the cover. This box is the same exact size as the cubby. And I just fill this with canned goods, canned fish. So when I'm ready to go, this will be filled with all this heavy stuff. I put the cover on and it fits right in here. And it gives me a shelf to put my fruit on. So that's where I would put my pears, my bananas, all right? So that's what I did my last trip. So I was like, oh, let me get like a little face cloth, and I'll put a face cloth down like that just to kind of protect them a little bit more. So that's what I did on my trip to Arizona. Then I had a better idea because they still vibrate around and they still are hitting something hard, you know. What I did was I got some of the leftover foam from my mattress. This is my mattress in my bed made out of this foam. And I cut these so that they fit right on top of there. Then I'm going to put this here, this face cloth on top. And that's where I'm going to put my precious organic pears that are fragile. And any vibration it gets, it will just be right on the foam. And I decided I had the space up here because this is deep enough to hold that inch of foam. And this is where I'll put my bananas and my pears and stuff. So that was a new thing I made too. Another thing I did was I utilized this space that's under the Berkey a little better. So this is, as everybody knows, this is my pee station. Okay, so this went in here like this, and I would just take it in and out of here to use it. But I have like this much space over it, and I thought, you know, I want to use that space. How am I going to use that space? So I found this really pretty box that has little flowers on it and butterflies, a little cardboard box, and I put some of the skid-proof stuff on it so the thing wouldn't slide. And I just filled it with, this is some extra nuts and seeds and some extra pink salt and white pepper for when my shaker runs out, and just utilizing this space. And it goes right here. Look at that. Look at that. See? And now this has probably another inch right here over before it hits the top of this. This won't slide out. It's on that skid-proof stuff. And then I just have some extra supplies in there. Extra food supplies. Just taking advantage of every little square inch. And last but not least, I decided, after a lot of comments that I got, I had to agree that this was too long. This bug screen was too long. So I shortened it. And I haven't tried it yet, so here we go. I got to step back. Yep, that's better. I just had to go right below the bumper, and I think that length is better. I still kept all the fabric on the bottom because I want that hem to be thick and heavy, so it's weighted. Plus the washers are sewn into it too for some weight. So so I'm happy with this. I'm happy with all my tweaks, and I think that's the end. I don't think there's any more tweaks. I have nothing on my list, nothing left on my list. I've done them all. I've got everything fine-tuned just for me and for my ease and comfort, for what I like to look at, what I don't like to look at. It's mine. It's my van, and it's my way. And when I'm traveling, I've done enough traveling that I know what I like and what I need, but every trip presents something new that I can just make a little bit better. For you to just like hit the road in whatever you have, just make it work, and you will discover exactly what you need by being out there. So when I've heard that advice about, just get out there before you build and feel it, it's true. It's true. Because when I was on my first road trip with this van, it was that throw together build that I had. It was just thrown together, and I hit the road for the winter. And it was during that trip that I had this whole design that I have today was coming into my mind. And I had it by the end of the few months that I was in Florida last year. Before I left there, I had this design in my head. But it was from being in a build that wasn't working for me. But it worked just fine. Like, you can just make whatever you have, it can work just fine. And then you learn so much from not having it right away. Anyway, I'm ready to hit the road. It's Christmas Eve today, and I have some plans for the next 2 days. Right after the holidays, I will start working on packing and tying up all those loose ends that come along with leaving home for 3 months. There's some of you that will be at the meetups down in Florida. If you don't know about the meetups, head on over to Facebook, to the Facebook group called Lulu's Way Winter 2024 Florida Meetups. Find that group, request to join it, and there's still space, although 2 of them are close to being filled. One of them is getting close. So if you're in the Florida area, January, February, or March, and you'd like to join me at a meetup, I would love to meet you. But get on it quick because it's going to fill up. So head on over to that page. I'll put a link to the Facebook group in the description for your convenience. So we'll be hitting the road pretty soon. And bye for now.